Well, we knew it was only a question of time before somebody got around to beating the fastest free-to-play Lydia in the game, and he beat it by a long shot. The best part, guys, that this is also a player that had the fastest free-to-play Arbiter. So in today's video, we're going to go over his account, his teams, a little bit of the gear, the skills, the masteries of the champions that he used to get this done, and to prove that once again, Raid is free-to-play. And before we dive into his account, let's first go over the current records, starting with Arbiter. This exact player 4 months ago reached out to say, I beat the fastest free-to-play Arbiter, and he got it done in 94 days. However, about a month ago, another player kind of beat that record, and he got it done in 90 days. All right, so that is the current record. So we're going to say overall 3 months, give or take a day or two, is kind of the fastest free-to-play Arbiter we've ever seen in the game. For Lydia, however, it's much longer, as you can imagine, and the current record, which was presented a month ago, is 288 days. So this player obviously did a lot better, and to showcase that, let's first go over his teams. Starting with the High Elf Crypt, as you can see, with reasonably accessible champions. We do have fusion champions in here. I think that's really important to note, is that fusion champions will play a big part in your ability to complete the faction crypts. So if you want to do the fastest free-to-play or just a free-to-play Lydia, I would say overall try to work on them. Okay, so Tyrell, Apothecary, and Thenosol here, level 50, no ascension potions on Pixniel. That's important to note as well. As for the Sacred Order, we do see Deacon Armstrong, Armiger, Fenax Lightsworn, Mistress of Hymns, which is probably a great pull for this. Lightsworn is as well. For the Orc Crypt, this guy does have a Warlord. I get that, not exactly easy for everybody. He does also have a Seer. Don't hate the player, you know, hate the game. That's how the RNG works. You have Duke de Pierced at level 50, Vrask at level 50, basically only one level 60 champion in that team. Then for the Barbarians Crypt, we have our trusty High Katoon, level 50, War Maiden, level 50. Basically, they're all level 50 except for Sile the Drakes, which is level 60 fully ascended. Look at the times as well, right? This is not easy. It does take a lot of patience to get this done. Undead, we have Frozen Banshee, Elegais, Zelata, Gorgrab, and Sato. Great pull right here. Elegais, another fusion. Then for the Dwarfs, we have Gala Longbraids, Underpriest Brogni, another fusion, Avir, Rockbreaker, and Molly. I would assume he pulled this one, judging by the age of his account. I don't think he was around for when Molly was there as a fusion. Demon Spawn, we do have Abyssal, Drexstar from the Tag Arena, right? 2 Allures, that is kind of lucky. And we do have 1 Diabolist in there, which is really accessible for everybody. Lizardman, we've got a Fushan, the fusion of Rosin, fusion of Broadma, 2 Basilisk. I use the exact same thing. He managed to do it with both of them at level 50. I had 1 at level 60 on my account. Fushan is a great pull, obviously quite lucky. Ogren Tribes, we do have Bellower, Grush the Mangler, which is a login champ, 1 Man-Eater, Shatterbones, great for this. Gear Grinder, I hear he's great. I didn't need him myself, but certainly a great one to use for that. Bannerlords is up next, and by the way, this is in the order that he completed them. We have Chancellor Yasmin, Stag Knight, Septimus, great pull. Archmage from the Doom Tower, and Senecal, whatever. This guy, AoE Provoke, great champ for crowd control. Dark Elf, oh, he went with pretty much Glass Cannon like I did myself. Psylar, your starter champion, Kale, is good enough for this apparently. Painkeeper, Cold Heart, Caden. Absolutely fantastic Caden for this. Skinwalker, which is one of the tough ones. We do have Steel Skull. He does have a Norog. Fane is absolutely fantastic. And look at this. Hofori's the Tusked, right? So we all knew this champion was going to be absolutely amazing. So this is fresh, guys. This is literally just as of now. We have Flesh Terror also in there. A lot of level 50 champions in here as well. Then we have for the Knights Rev, which is the last one, a Doom Priest, Pestilus, Skullcrown, Guardian, and a Burgoth the Malformed, which was a fusion. All right, guys, so the takeaway from this is that fusion champions are very useful, and you do not need to max out all these champions. Now let's go take a quick look at this roster, which I would assume had a lot of gear shuffled around. So this will not be an exact representation of what was used at the time, but it should still give you an overall kind of reference point or a guide in general as to what you might need. All right, so we're going to do this in order of factions. We've got Bannerlords first with a Septimus. The skills are all done on this guy, and then here are the masteries. I would assume he's using him against the clan boss. We have a Stag Knight up next, level 50. When he did that, but now he's been ranked up to 60, I see, so there's a little difference right there. And then here is the gear in a shield set. Up next we have our Senecal, whatever he's called, with the following gear, kind of using the gear from the Forge, right? So that is a big difference from free-to-play players of like 2 years ago, like myself, compared to the one today. Not taking away from what this guy did, I'm just saying overall the Forge is a great value added aspect of the game for you guys who are just starting out. We have a Chancellor Yasmin with a little bit of gear, barely any masteries, and then we have our Archmage right here with just overall lots of speed. The skills are almost all done, and then here are the masteries. Up next we're going to do the High Elves, starting with our Arbiter. So she's been rocking, I would assume, kind of like the best speed gear possible with the following masteries. The skills all done, and yeah, full speed ahead. We've got a Terrell up next with the following gear. The skills are pretty much all done. Masteries, here they are. Apothecary, Giant Slayer for the tier 6. Probably was used against the clan boss for some time, maybe still is. And then here are the overall the stats of the gear, right? Thenasil rocking a shield set. We've got barely any skills done, and then for the masteries, a few right there. Finally, we have a Pixniel, no masteries, no skills, and a little bit of gear, which I assume was shuffled around. Next up, we have, what is it, the Sacred Order, yep, with the Lightsworn with a little bit of gear right now. The skills are done, however, on this champion, and with Giant Slayer, so I would assume he used this champion against the clan boss. Then we have Eothar. No, Eothar was not in there. We do have Deacon Armstrong, though, with War Master for the tier 6. As for the skills, pretty much all done. And then here is the gear. We did have a Fenax, really hard hitter, great champion overall, with the following gear. The skills almost all done. Masteries, a few. We have a Mistress of Hymns with a few masteries. Some skills, no, barely any skills, 0 skills done actually, and again with more gear from the Forge. Level 50 Armiger with barely any gear on right now. Skills are done for the masteries. Here's what he has, and then that pretty much sums it up for that one. Next up is going to be the Barbarians, so I would assume, yeah, Salad Drakes was in there for sure. Here are the masteries. The skills are all done, definitely worth it. Full speed ahead for the gear. Then we have a Farrakhan. Yeah, Farrakhan the Fat with the following gear. So in Relentless, probably used for the clan boss, I would assume. The skills are not all done. Okay, so maybe not. Maybe a work in progress. And we have High Katoon with a few masteries, skills, the cooldown reduced, right? And then we have full speed ahead. We have a War Maiden up next with lifesteal gear, more perception gear or gear from the Forge. Skills are done. Masteries, a few. We do have a Soulbound Boyar, yeah. Masteries, a few. Skills are all done, and then here is the gear, and I believe that pretty much sums it up for that one. So up next would be the Ogren Tribe, which has, I would assume, the Man-Eater, right? I already forgot. Yeah, one Man-Eater in there, level 60, and this is the gear, so I would assume for his clan boss. Skills are done. Masteries, yeah, War Master. Then we do have a Bellower in the lead, which had the following masteries. The skills are all done. The artifacts of this champ, we have a Shatterbones, great champion, even better now with the AI fix. I will probably make some content with this guy for sure. So we have this one in Frenzy gear. Okay, interesting. And then we have the skills pretty much all done. Here are the masteries. Up next we have the Brush the Mangler, level 50, still level 50. Masteries, skills are done, almost all done. And then here are the gear pieces. Then we have the other Bellower. No, we had a Grinder for this one, which has a shield set with the following skills and the following masteries. Up next, we have the Lizardman, starting with Rosin Scarhide. The following masteries, the skills are pretty much all done, as I would assume, and then here are the artifacts for that champion. We do have a Fushan in there as well, level 50 with the following gear. Skills are all done as well, interesting. And then for the masteries, then we have a Broadma, a Broadma with a very little masteries. Skills not really done, and then for the artifacts, artifacts, probably in a regeneration set, I would assume. We have Basilisk #1 in a stun set. Great way to do it. 2 AoE A1 champions with stun sets is certainly a decent form of crowd control overall. It does require a lot of patience once again to try and get this to work. No skills done, and then another stun set right there. Up next, we're going to do the Skinwalkers, which has Norog. I do remember seeing the Norog in there. Yeah, so we got Norog with all the skills done on this champion. Okay, interesting. And then for the masteries, we do have Helm Smasher. All right, we've got Fane up next with the masteries that you see right here. Skills are pretty much all done. And then for the gear in a Stalwart set, we do then have a Steel Skull. Yep, Steel Skull was in the lead. We've got all the skills done on this champion as well. And then for the masteries, finally, we did not have a Basher, interesting, but we did have a Flesh Terror with the following masteries. The following skills, so a couple done. And then here's the gear. And then I believe we had Hofori's the Tusk, which was the last one right down here in regeneration and resilience gear. The skills are not done, and for the masteries, here is what we have. Up next, we have the Orcs, starting with Warlord with the following masteries. We've got the skills all done, as I would assume, and we have the following gear. Seer in a Savage set, still only level 50 though. And we got the cooldown reduction on the skills, and here we have not even a tier 6 mastery so far. Interesting. Duke the Pierce, which has the following masteries. The skills are pretty much all done, and we have the following setup. We have for Vrask this gear, so Immortal pretty much, and then the skills are not done. And then for the masteries, we have just a handful completed. And for Iron Brago here as our 5th, we do have no skills done and the following artifacts. Up next is going to be the Demon Spawn faction. I'm pretty sure we had Drexstar in there. Yes, we did, with the following gear. So Lifesteal. The skills are all okay. He started working on them. That's good. And then we have Giant Slayer for the tier 6. We do have, I believe, 1 allure and even 2 allures. So here's one of them. With the following masteries, you do see no skills are done on this champ. And then here is the gear overall. He does have a Lord Shazar, but he did not really use this champ. But he did use a Diabolist, however. Yep. Right here, where we have the following gear. The skills are pretty much all done, and then no masteries. We also had an Abyssal in there with a few masteries, and the skills are all done. And then here are the artifacts. I would assume the last allure probably didn't really take her out of the vault. She's only level 40-ish, or was, but basically... No, level 26. So, okay, so maybe he had another one, which I don't really see right now. But I would assume very little on her, because this one kind of the same concept here. Oh, she's right here. Okay, I totally missed her. She's all the way at the end, which currently has pretty much nothing on her and just a few masteries. Up next, we have the Undead with a Sato with the following masteries. The skills are all done on this champion, and then for the artifacts, pretty much a heavy nuker, right? So I would assume some really good gear. We then had a Gorgrab level 60, so probably was used in the arena until he got his Arbiter. All the skills are done on this champion, and then here are the masteries. Up next, Zealot, which has the following masteries. So War Master, maybe used against the clan boss for some time. No skills done, a shield set. We also have a Frozen Banshee in the lead with the following gear. The skills are all done, and then here are the masteries. And finally, we have our trusty Elagaeus, which is without masteries, without any skills, and with the following gear. Next up is going to be the Dark Elves. Sorry, so let me scroll here real quick down to that one. Yeah, so we have a Painkeeper with the following gear, the following skills, and then the masteries. Kale up next, our trusty Kale, still good in the end game. We just made some content with this guy, great champ. War Master for the tier 6, and then we do have some skills done, basically all of them. And then here is the gear. Up next is a Sylar in a stun set, as I would assume, AoE A1, right? All the skills are done, pretty much all. And then for the masteries, we do have a Fearsome Presence for the tier 6. We've got one Cold Heart in there with not all the masteries completed. The skills are not even done. Okay, until we got the Heartseeker, he got pretty lucky too. It went literally all onto that. And then for the artifacts, in a Destroy set overall, so I would assume was used against the Scarab King. Up next, we have a Caden with no gear right now, so it was probably shuffled around. Some skills are done. Here are the masteries. Not up next, sorry, is the Knight Revenant faction. We do have a Skull Crown in there, yep, with Helm Smasher for the tier 6. The skills are done. Artifact Stun Set, which I would assume is very, very good for the faction crypt. Not sure if he uses her this way for the arena, but it could also work for sure. We have a Doom Priest in Relentless gear with what seems to be kind of like the right speed for Clan Boss, so maybe he is using Doom Priest in there. And then for the Masteries, here's what we've got. Up next, we had a Burgoth, the Malformed War Master for the tier 6. The skills are all done, and then here is the gear. Did we have this Sepulchre Sentinel? No, we did not, but we did have this guy right here, Pestilus, with the following gear. Missing a piece. The skills are all done, and then for the Masteries, we did have a no Renegade, no Crimson Slayer, right? But we did have a Guardian with the following Masteries. The skills are all done. And here's the gear, so probably was in a stun set. Finally, we had our Molly Tankard in a Swift Parry set, so probably really used for the arena with this setup. And then for the Masteries, we had Gala Long Braids in there as well. The following Masteries, skills are done, artifacts, and finally, no, actually, that's just the beginning of them. We also have Underpriest Brogni with this gear. No skills done. Actually, he did. He went into this right here. And then for the Masteries, finally, Rockbreaker and Avir the Algmage. Okay, so 2 more Masteries. A few skills done, not all. And then Lifesteal here for the gear. And Avir in a shield set with the following skills and the Masteries. 1 more to do. No, that's pretty much it. Okay, we did it. We did it all. So there you go, guys. A quick rundown of his roster. And finally, we're going to do a quick overview of the dungeons, the new level 25 dungeons, right? So this is the team that he used for Ice Golem. We're also going to briefly do the arena and the clan boss, just so that you guys have a complete picture of what was used. This is the stage 24 Spider. Okay, so interesting team. Then we have for the Dragon, 4 minutes and 48 seconds with this team right here. And finally for the Fire Knight, we've got stage 25 in 7 minutes with this team right there. As for his arena, he is currently in Classic Arena Gold 4. His defense is the following beautiful team. And then for the Tag Arena, it doesn't look like he's trying all that much, so he's in Silver 2. And finally for the Clan Boss, we are on a 2-key Ultra Nightmare with the following team. So this is kind of like the budget unkillable, if I understand correctly, with Septimus, Frozen Banshee, and Eothar as our main damage dealers. What about the Doom Tower? He is actually progressing in here quite a bit. And he did say that on the previous rotation, he got all the way up to floor 114. So he's also about to finish in here. Not exactly completely done with the hard Doom Tower, but I would assume it is quite doable in here as well, because the previous record holder for free-to-play Lydia in 288 days actually got the hard Doom Tower completed in 222 days, if I recall correctly. But anyway, now finally, let's go check out how exactly how fast he completed this, right? So daily login rewards is now the perfect representation of this. We got 242 days, so basically done as yesterday, and showcased being today, so 1 day from when he completed this. All right, so this is the same player that I showcased before. Here's the number 672555745, and I can show you guys basically on the old video as well, right? So 672555745. We had the confirmation from the diamond that this guy was free to play. He still is, obviously, right? Or else we wouldn't be really showcasing this account. So there you have it, guys. A quick showcase of the new fastest free-to-play world record for Lydia. This is absolutely amazing. Do let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.